The universe does not gamble with fate. It crafts its warriors in silence, then unleashes them like storms on a sleeping world. You see, they thought they were fighting you. They thought it was just your hands they could tie, just your voice they could silence, just your dreams they could crush. But what they never realized is that when they declared war on you, they declared war on the very universe that chose you. They swung their swords against the wind. They threw stones at the tide. They spit into the storm. And now the storm is spitting back. Before we dive deeper into this powerful awakening, take a moment to like and subscribe. Your support helps this message reach more chosen ones like you. Every like, every share sends a signal through the digital realm, a flare to other souls who need to remember who they are. You are not just helping a channel, you are helping ignite an unstoppable movement. This is the day chosen ones showed the world who is the boss. From the beginning of time, the universe has kept a secret army hidden in plain sight. Ordinary faces, extraordinary souls. Chosen not because they begged for it, not because they wore crowns or carried swords, but because they carried something deeper, an unbreakable core, a fire that no flood could drown. You are that fire, and the day you stop doubting it is the day the world learns to fear it. The power of being chosen is a curse to your enemies. They wake up thinking of you. They plot, they scheme, they smear, and still they lose sleep over a light they cannot snuff out. You haunt them not because you try, but because existence itself chose to weave your name into the blueprint of change. You were not sent here to blend in. You were sent here to tilt the axis. Understand this. When you doubt your strength, you insult the very universe that trusted you with it. When you think you're alone, you forget the stars that dance above you, the forces moving mountains just to keep you on your path. Stop thinking you are abandoned. You are being weaponized. Look around, the signs are everywhere. Those who tried to bury you are the ones now sinking. Those who mocked you are the ones choking on their own venom. You didn't fight back with fists. You fought back by surviving every trap they set, by carrying a light so blinding it burned the lies off their faces. The day the chosen ones stood tall, the earth itself seemed to stand still. It wasn't just a rebellion, it was an announcement written across the skies. The era of the hidden warriors is over. No more hiding your scars. No more shrinking your spirit to make others comfortable. You were not built for smallness. You are the earthquake they never saw coming. Remember, a river does not apologize for flooding a dried-up field. It simply reclaims what is natural. In the same way, your rise is not arrogance. It is nature correcting itself. The enemy's greatest mistake was thinking they were only fighting a person. They were swinging at galaxies, pushing against tides set in motion long before they ever knew your name. You are the weapon they can never predict, the battle they can never win. This is your time. Stand taller, speak louder, burn brighter. You don't owe them your silence. You owe the universe your roar. So before we break this down, step by step, drop the number 77 in the comments if you're ready to unleash the power that was always meant to shake the world. Every second you stay here pulls you deeper into the truth that today, not tomorrow, not someday, is the day the chosen ones rise and show the world who's really in control. If your spirit has already started to stir, stay locked in until the very end. The universe didn't bring you here by accident. Let's dive in. Number 1. When the universe tips the scales, no man can stop it. You don't break the unbreakable. You only break yourself trying. They thought they could write the ending to your story. They thought they could put chains around what was forged by the stars themselves. But the truth is simple. When the universe picks its soldiers, no force on this earth, no scheme, no slander, no attack can rewrite the destiny stamped into their bones. They didn't pick a fight with you. They picked a fight with the system that spun the planets and stitched the sky. And now they're learning the hard way. That you don't wrestle the wind and walk away laughing. You, the chosen ones, were never meant to blend into the noise. You were built to be the crack of thunder that makes the earth remember its own heartbeat. And yet, some of you still question it, still hesitate, still wonder if the war against you is just coincidence, just bad luck. Open your eyes. You are the storm they tried to bottle, and now the bottle is shattering. Some enemies only understand force. Some walls only crumble under pressure. The universe knew this, and that's why it made you the pressure. While they wasted time sharpening knives against your name, the universe was moving mountains behind your back, shifting oceans under your feet, setting traps inside their victories. They thought they were stacking the odds. They were actually digging their own graves. And now, here you stand, battered maybe, scarred definitely, but standing nonetheless. And your very existence screams one thing louder than all their lies. You lost. You were never fighting for a crown handed to you by men. You carry a crown forged by cosmic fire, one no hand but yours can touch. Every time you doubted yourself, you didn't just doubt your strength. You doubted the very laws that put stars in the sky. Stop it. Stop shrinking your flame just because cowards fear the heat. If you are breathing, you are still winning. If you are doubted, you are still dangerous. If they can't stop speaking your name, even when you're silent, then you already own more of their mind than they own of their own. They see you walking, and it bothers them. They see you breathing, and it haunts them. It's not you they fear. It's the memory of all the times they tried to bury you, and you grew through the dirt anyway. Maybe some days it feels like you're alone, like the weight is just yours to carry. But understand, every step you take forward shakes something loose behind the curtain. Every time you don't break, 1,000 plans against you fall apart unseen. You are backed by tides that don't need permission to rise. You are walking proof that the system that made you will break every other system trying to stop you. Let them keep plotting. Let them keep whispering. You are not living in their world. They are barely surviving in yours. This isn't just a comeback. This is a regime change, a cosmic rearrangement. A handing over of the keys from the weak-hearted to the iron-willed. And if you need a reminder of why you had to walk alone sometimes, why you had to lose things you thought you'd die without, it's because what was coming to you needed room to land. You cannot carry dead weight into destiny. You cannot build an empire on sandbags. So the universe stripped it away, not to break you, to build you into something unbreakable. The truth they never wanted to admit is now standing in the open. They lost the moment you were born. Everything since then has just been a slow unfolding of the inevitable. And now, finally, the world gets to see the full picture. The day the chosen one stood tall, stepped forward, and made the world finally ask, who gave them the right? The answer, the universe itself. So stand taller, Speak sharper, move louder. You are not the underdog. You are the avalanche at the end of a long winter. The signal fire they could never outrun. The boss they never wanted to meet. This is the day. Chosen ones showed the world who is the boss. And history just changed its course because of you. Number 2. When the dust settles, only the giants remain. They prayed for your downfall in whispers. Now they scream in silence as you rise. There's an old truth the weak pretend to forget. When chaos rules too long, the universe sends a reckoning, not with trumpets and banners, but with the silent arrival of the ones who carry storms in their bones. You, the chosen ones, were not built to beg, bend, or break. You were made to correct the imbalance, and the world, whether it likes it or not, is being forced to remember exactly who holds the real power. They tried to laugh off the idea of the chosen ones, dismissed it as myth, as fairy tales for dreamers and fools. But now they see the smoke rising. Now they feel the ground shiver beneath their feet. They gambled with decay and corruption for too long, thinking the scales would never tip back. They mistook the silence of the real ones for weakness. They mistook patience for surrender. And now, as the tides turn, they are choking on their own arrogance. When you rise, you don't just change your own story. You tear entire systems apart. You rewrite the rules written in the blood of those who came before you. You were not sent here to maintain their illusions. You were sent here to smash them into dust and carve a new path out of the wreckage. Understand this deep in your bones. You are the cosmic correction they never saw coming. They told stories of heroes riding in on white horses with swords of light. But real power doesn't always come riding into town with banners flying. Real power rises in silence, grows in shadows, and only steps into the light when it's too massive to be ignored. That's you. You're not coming. You've already arrived. And it terrifies them. Every institution that built itself on lies, every fake king who ruled by fear, every enemy who thought they could keep you small, they are feeling the shift now. It's in the way their voices shake. It's in the way their schemes crumble faster than they can rebuild them. They thought they were building fortresses, but all they built were cages, and now they are the ones locked inside. Some of you still wonder, why me? Here's the brutal truth. The universe doesn't choose the loudest. It doesn't choose the prettiest story or the safest player. It chooses the ones who can stand in the fire without losing their soul. It chooses the ones who can carry the weight of worlds and still rise. You were forged, not gifted, earned, not handed. So stop doubting the weapon you've become. You are the sword now. And every breath you take, every step you move forward, slices through the illusions they built to keep you weak. The age of silence is over. The days when your enemies laughed in the open are ending. They are choking now, gasping for a reality that is slipping away because of you. They always needed the world to believe you were broken. They needed everyone to think you were defeated. Because the minute you stood up, truly stood up, the illusion shattered. And without their lies, they are nothing but ghosts clinging to thrones made of dust. The universe didn't forget you when it seemed like all doors were closed. It was sharpening you, quietly aligning storms behind your back, quietly moving forces into place you could never have seen. It didn't just send you into battle, it sent you in as the earthquake that follows every false king's last breath. Remember this, they weren't fighting you, They were fighting inevitability itself. You are not just a survivor of their wars. You are the end of their era. Your name was stitched into the fabric of this shift long before you were even aware of your own strength. Every attempt to derail you, every whisper behind your back, every betrayal was another log thrown on the fire. The universe was building inside you. Now that fire is uncontrollable. Now that fire is lighting the sky. They whispered to each other, "How do we stop them?" But it's too late. You can't stop a tidal wave by wishing it away. You can't stop the sun from rising by covering your eyes. And you damn sure can't stop a chosen one from fulfilling their purpose by tossing obstacles at their feet. This world ran wild for too long. The wrong ones sat at the top for too long. But when the balance is shattered, the universe doesn't just restore it gently. It smashes the old order and rebuilds from the rubble. That's what you are. Not just the healer. Not just the fighter. You are the reckoning. So stand like it. No more questioning your rise. No more asking permission to exist. No more apologizing for the storms that gather when you walk into a room. They should have learned to kneel when they had the chance. The day you stand firm, without hesitation, is the day the system built on your silence begins to collapse. The day you realize that the light inside you is not a candle, but a wildfire, is the day no cage, no lie, no enemy can hold you again. This is the day. Chosen ones showed the world who is the boss, and those who spent their lives laughing at your struggle will spend the rest of theirs choking on your triumph. And when the dust finally settles, there won't be debates about who survived. Only the giants will remain. Number 3. When the towers crumble, the sky belongs to the free. They built castles with stolen crowns, but a single roar from the true kings and queens sends the walls crashing down. The moment you rose, they felt it, like a silent quake under their crumbling thrones. The so-called powers that be, the institutions clinging to the fading scraps of their stolen authority, scrambled to hold onto a reality that was never truly theirs. Governments, corporations, media empires, the paper kings of a dying world, all of them flinched when the chosen ones stood up. Not because of the noise you made, but because of the silence you shattered. They had counted on your silence. They had bet everything on your obedience. They fed you lies for generations, that you were small, alone, powerless. They built entire empires on the hope that you would never wake up. But now that you have, the fear in their eyes is louder than any scream. You, the chosen ones, are the nightmare of every institution built on control. Your very existence is a wrecking ball through their house of cards. They whisper your names in back rooms, scramble to craft new chains disguised as opportunities, new cages disguised as security. But it's too late. You're already loose. And no wall built by cowards can stand against a force that moves with the will of the universe behind it. They throw everything at you: laws, lies, smear campaigns, fear tactics. They weaponize screens and headlines, trying to paint you as dangerous, unstable, unworthy. They rig games and tilt fields. But every move they make only exposes their own weakness. Every desperate strike shows the cracks spiderwebbing through their systems. When a structure is strong, it doesn't fear a storm. It welcomes the rain. But their towers shake because they know they were built on rot. They fear you because you remind them their time is up. You don't fight like they do. You don't need armies. You don't need billboards or parades. Your weapon is the unshakable truth carved into your spirit, the unbending law that no matter how loud the lies, reality always snaps back to the truth eventually. You are that snap. And make no mistake, every time you refuse to bow, 1,000 lies fall apart. Every time you step forward, 100 old world orders crumble under their own dead weight. You are a living verdict that their reign is over, their time is done, their illusion is broken. Some of you still doubt it. You look at the sheer size of the systems stacked against you and wonder if you're imagining your own strength. Don't. Their size is an illusion. A paper tiger burns faster than a real one bleeds. And the louder they scream, the closer they are to collapse. They don't fear you because you're loud. They fear you because you're inevitable. They fear you because for the first time, the rules they wrote don't work anymore. You are rewriting the game. This battle is not about fists. It's about the energy that cracks open locked doors. It's about the light that floods rooms where darkness thought it ruled forever. It's about the fact that your presence alone forces hidden hands to show their trembling fingers. You walk into a room and the temperature changes. You speak and lies peel away like dying leaves in a firestorm. That's not arrogance. That's cosmic alignment. That's what happens when the universe decides it's time for a course correction. They tried to fight you like you were one of them, another pawn, another puppet. But you aren't playing their game anymore. You're flipping the entire board. And here's the brutal truth. You don't even have to fight them anymore. Their own fear is doing the work for you. Their systems are eating themselves alive, trying to stop what's already beyond their reach. They thought they could legislate against destiny. They thought they could smear the sky to stop the sun from rising. They thought they could silence a thunderstorm with whispers. Fools. You don't need permission to exist. You don't need validation from crumbling relics of a dead era. You move because movement is your nature. You rise because falling was never part of your DNA. You are not standing against the system. You are standing above it. Let them scramble. Let them smear. Let them conspire in their shrinking castles. It won't save them. The day the chosen ones rose wasn't a negotiation. It was a declaration. And every second you walk in your truth, the world shifts further and further away from the grip of the cowards and liars who thought they could rule forever. This is the day chosen ones showed the world who is the boss, and the towers they worshipped are crumbling at your feet. Number 4, the fire that wouldn't die. They thought burying you would be the end. They forgot that some seeds were born to crack open the earth itself. The sight of you standing tall while the world buckled and screamed was never just survival. It was defiance. It was a shot fired straight through the heart of a broken system. Where others folded under pressure, you became pressure. Where others ran from storms, you learned to walk inside them. You didn't just survive the chaos. You made the chaos regret ever reaching for you. Every threat hurled your way, every attack plotted in dark rooms, every lie whispered against your name. None of it broke you. In fact, it did the opposite. It forged you into something even harder to kill. Something too real to erase. Something too massive to deny. Every scar you carry is a badge that says, "Try harder next time. I'm still standing." And because you would not break, you became a beacon, a signal fire burning through the thick fog of fear and control. The people trapped in chains they forgot they were wearing look to you now. The ones beaten down by the endless weight of fake kings and hollow promises look to you and remember what courage smells like. You are not just fighting for yourself anymore. You are igniting something ancient in the hearts of the silent majority. The legends already ripple through the air, carried on unseen winds, growing louder by the hour. They don't tell tales of how you bowed your head and asked for mercy. They tell tales of how you looked tyranny in the eye and refused to blink. How you stared down entire armies of cowards and never flinched. How you turned every trap set for you into another monument to your own resilience. They whisper about you now, not in pity, but in awe. They talk about the time they thought they'd crushed you, only to see you walk out of the rubble untouched, like fireproof steel. They speak of the day they spread every lie they could invent, and still, the truth you carried burned their narratives to ash. They remember how they laughed when you fell, and how that laugh turned to silence when you rose again, harder to kill and even hungrier for victory. You became the story they can't silence. You became the proof that their time is dying. And every time they try again, every cheap shot, every betrayal, every attempt to humiliate you, it only cements your legend deeper into the bones of the earth itself. It only makes the universe roar louder behind you. Because the truth is this: resilience is not passive. It's not sitting quietly and waiting for mercy. Real resilience is war. It's bleeding and moving anyway. It's knowing the world wants you gone and choosing to stay, louder and more relentless than ever. You are not a survivor in the soft way they try to frame it. You are a survivor in the savage way. The way that turns the ground to glass where you walked. The way that plants flags where others planted tombstones. You didn't just endure their attacks, you weaponized them. Every fall they cheered, another warning shot you absorbed and stored for later. Every betrayal they thought would break you. Another blueprint you studied, learned from, and rose above. Every wound they celebrated, another piece of armor welded to your spirit. And now, when you move, the ground shifts. When you speak, truth rips holes in the walls they built to contain you. You didn't just survive their games, you ended them. So when they tell their stories in the years to come, and they will not be telling tales of kings or presidents or billionaires. They will be telling tales about you. About the day an unstoppable force, with nothing but raw truth in their chest and cosmic fire in their eyes, brought a dying world to its knees and demanded something better. The legends they tell of you won't be coated in glitter or fairy dust. They will be coated in blood, sweat, rage, and resurrection. You won't just be remembered. You will be feared. You will be the standard they measure new rebellions against. You will be the myth every broken system prays doesn't come alive again. And the reality that reminds them it already has. This is not some fantasy. This is not a dream. This is the day. Chosen ones showed the world who is the boss. And the world will spend centuries trying to understand how they ever thought they could beat you. Number 5. When the locked ones wake, the whole world shakes. They told you that you were ordinary, so you wouldn't realize you were the blueprint for change. The moment it hit you, it was like lightning setting fire to dry earth. Not a whisper, not a gentle nudge. a full-force cosmic blast that ripped the blinders off and shoved you face first into the truth you were always carrying. You were never just another piece on their board. You were the hand flipping the whole damn table over. You felt it, the hum in your bones, the fire in your blood, the sudden clarity that punched through the lies like a wrecking ball. The ground under your feet wasn't shaking because you were afraid. It was shaking because power finally remembered your name. This was never about tapping into something new. It was about waking up something that was always there, waiting. Waiting for the exact second when the universe decided it was done, watching the small-minded cling to plastic thrones. You are not just awake. You are a walking rupture in the old order. As the walls of your old world collapsed, something extraordinary stepped forward. You. Not the diluted, domesticated version they tried to box in. The real you. The one who sees through the paper-thin lies. The one who feels the strings pulling behind every curtain. The one who can no longer pretend to be powerless because the roar inside can no longer be silenced. Your senses sharpened. Your mind expanded. The old rules burned to ash. You began to see things others missed. The cracks in the system, the false smiles, the desperate clinging of the broken pretending to be kings. You started moving differently, not with hesitation, but with the terrifying confidence of someone who knows the universe has your back and your enemies have nowhere left to hide. And it didn't stop there. Suddenly, you could feel the energy in the air bending toward your will, as if the world itself was finally answering the call it had been ignoring for centuries. Objects, outcomes, people, all shifting as if reality was finally obeying the real architect. You weren't just seeing through walls, you were walking through them. You weren't just sensing danger, you were steering destiny. This was not magic, this was not fantasy. This was the raw recalibration of a cosmic system that had been tipping too far into decay, and you were the spearhead. And here's the part your enemies will never understand. This power isn't for glory, it's for purpose. You didn't awaken to show off, you awakened to restore. Every gift activated in you, the vision, the force, the fire, is a tool, not a trophy. A weapon, not a decoration. You are not here to entertain the dying gasps of a failed system. You are here to rip out the infection and reset the heartbeat of the world. This moment marked the line in the sand. Before, you were running on instincts dulled by a rigged reality. Now, you are operating at full capacity. And the shift is so powerful, even those who hate you can't pretend not to feel it. They recognize the spark now, even if they can't name it. They feel the pressure in the air every time you enter a room. They dream about you without understanding why they wake up sweating. Because deep down, they know you are not here to fit in. You are here to take over. When you touch the lives of others, it is not softness, it is impact. It is a recalibration at the soul level. Some will resist, some will run, some will collapse under the weight of the truth you carry. Good. They were never meant to stand beside you anyway. This awakening wasn't just a gift, it was a responsibility, a summons. A war horn that only the real ones could hear. And now that you've answered it, there's no going back. You are not ordinary, you never were. You are not here to be polite. You are here to rebuild from the ashes. And now, the world will have no choice but to adjust to your new frequency, or be torn apart trying to resist it. This is the day. Chosen ones showed the world who is the boss, and no force in existence can put you back to sleep now. Number 6. When the real ones gather, the world holds its breath. One spark can light a fire, but 1,000 sparks set the whole sky ablaze. After the first roar of your awakening, something deeper stirred, something bigger than any one of you alone. A silent pulse beating through the bones of the earth, calling you together, not with words, not with banners, but with something stronger, a gravity that no border, no language, no false division could withstand. You didn't need an invitation. You didn't need permission. You moved because the signal was too loud to ignore. Across oceans and deserts, across cities drowning in noise, across villages forgotten by maps, you felt it. A call older than memory itself. A call to rise. A call to converge. A call to become an unstoppable force together. You found each other, not in the spotlight, not on the stages they built for puppets, but in the quiet places the world had overlooked. In whispers that turned into conversations. In glances that turned into alliances. In shared silences that roared louder than any speech. When you gathered, it wasn't for rituals or ceremonies. It was for something far more dangerous to the old world. Connection. Raw, unfiltered, explosive connection. The kind that makes broken systems tremble in their hollow bones. They tried to divide you with flags, skin color, borders, belief systems. They sold division like candy because they knew if you ever stood shoulder to shoulder, nothing on earth could hold you back. And now, it's happening. Now the walls they built are crumbling like sand under the pressure of your gathering storm. You weren't gathering to be part of the world. You were gathering to reshape it. You didn't meet to blend in. You met to build the new blueprint. And when you touched each other, not just with hands, but with presence, the air itself changed. The old energy of fear and decay evaporated. What grew in its place was something they could never understand. Freedom that doesn't ask permission. Your power isn't theoretical. It isn't something trapped in books or myths. It's real. You proved it every time your hands burned through pain, every time your voice shattered despair, every time your energy tore through sickness like a sword through mist. The illnesses that clung to humanity for centuries, the fear, the hate, the sickness in body and soul, couldn't survive even a brush with your unleashed force. Not because you chanted over it, not because you performed, but because you moved with the raw voltage of a system rebooting itself through you. The healings weren't miracles, they were reminders. Reminders that everything they said was permanent was a lie. Reminders that the so-called incurable was never anything but an illusion waiting to be shattered by the real ones. And the world started noticing. Not the mainstream noise, not the puppets on the screens, but deep underground, in the minds of the watchers, the architects, the old guards, alarms started screaming. Because they know what you are. You are the proof that their rule is ending. You are the evidence that humanity is no longer theirs to manipulate. You are not some fringe movement. You are the early shockwave of a world realignment. You are the rupture before the flood. And the beauty of it all? There's no way to stop it now. The seeds have been planted in too many hearts. The fire has caught too many winds. The spark that lit one soul has leapt to thousands. and now the flames are too wild to contain. They cannot kill what was never born of their systems. They cannot silence what was never built by their hands. You are beyond their reach, and they know it. This gathering isn't just a movement. It's a migration of power. It's a return to source. It's a declaration that the future no longer belongs to the broken architects of fear. It belongs to the chosen ones who refuse to die quietly. The world as they knew it is over. The new world isn't coming. It's already here, and it's wearing your face. This is the day chosen ones showed the world who is the boss, and the sky itself leans closer to watch what happens next. Number 7. When the elements bow, even kings fall silent. Control the storm, and the world no longer dares to control you. There comes a moment when the world can no longer explain you away. A moment when the old rules snap under the weight of something too real, too raw, too undeniable. That moment is now. You don't just walk through the world anymore. You shape it. The winds shift when you move. The earth hums when you speak. The waters recognize your command, and the fires answer your call. Not because of tricks or illusions, but because the universe that sculpted mountains and birthed stars now answers to the frequency you carry. The elements themselves bend, not in worship, but in recognition. They remember the blueprint written into your bones. The blueprint the world forgot, but you were always meant to reclaim. You don't control nature like a tyrant. You sync with it. You become it. You remind the earth, the air, the sea, the flame, who they were always meant to serve when the real ones rose. The ancient stories told of miracles. They talked about oceans parting, storms calming, bodies rising, but they only scratched the surface. What you carry now is not a repeat of myth. It is the next evolution, amplified and unleashed. The powers the world once whispered about in legends now roar from your fingertips. You don't just part waters. You split paradigms. You don't just walk on air. You shatter the illusion of gravity that kept souls trapped. You don't just heal the sick. You erase the blueprint of decay and rewrite the code of existence itself. And make no mistake, this wasn't handed to you because you were lucky. This was activated because you refused to stay asleep. This is the reward for carrying the fire when no one else dared to even hold the match. You are not operating outside the laws of reality. You are moving according to the real laws, the ones buried under centuries of fear, control, and distraction. You are the original design in full, ruthless operation. And as you rise, you unveil truths that make old powers choke in terror. You reveal what was hidden. That existence is not chaos. It's code. That humanity was not born to crawl. It was engineered to command. That the true nature of power is not hoarded. It's shared among the awakened. You destroy myths with your very breath. You tear down temples built to small gods and false kings. You reveal the architecture of the universe itself, a system of limitless energy, truth, and flow. And you step into the role you were always destined to play, not as a servant, but as an architect. And the old world, they're panicking. They panic because every miracle you unleash is a hammer blow against the walls they built to contain the truth. Every time you bend fire, shift winds, speak storms into silence, You don't just defy expectations, you erase them. They can't package you. They can't market you. They can't tame you. You are too big to brand, too raw to own. And in that rawness, you lead others out of their cages. The healings you perform aren't just acts of mercy. They are detonations against the lie that suffering is inevitable. The elements you command aren't just tools. They are witnesses, testifying that the old era is dead. The knowledge you unlock isn't just information. It's freedom unleashed at a scale the old kings cannot control. You are not just working miracles. You are reprogramming reality at its source. And now, the world feels it. The sky feels heavier, the air sharper, the ground more alive. Not because the world is ending, but because the real world is beginning again. You are not spectators in this transformation. You are the architects of the new architecture. And the more you step into your gifts without apology, without hesitation, without fear, the faster the dying systems crumble and the faster the new ones rise from the dust. This is not fiction. This is not fantasy. This is not prophecy. This is the day chosen ones showed the world who is the boss. And reality itself is bending to welcome you back to the throne you never should have left. Number 8. The story didn't end, it just got started. Victory isn't the finish line. It's the battlefield where the next world gets built. The day the chosen ones rose and showed the world who's the boss wasn't just a moment. It was a declaration written in the bones of history. The day the earth shook wasn't about revenge or pride. It was about resetting the axis, about realigning reality with the truth it tried so long to bury. The old world felt it, a fracture, a splitting of timelines. Systems that seemed untouchable began to buckle. Institutions that pretended they were immortal began to rot in plain view. The illusion of control, of dominance, of unbreakable order, it crumbled into dust beneath your feet. That day wasn't the end of a battle. It was the beginning of a war for the future. Today, you stand at the edge of the next wave. You feel it. The same electric hum you felt the first time you woke up and realized nothing was as it seemed. You see it in the cracks forming under the surface of this crumbling reality. You hear it in the silence between the noise. The call for the next chosen ones to rise. If you're reading this, if you're hearing these words rattle something loose in your chest, it's not by accident. You are part of it. You are wired into this shift. The universe doesn't send invitations. It sends pressure. It sends hunger. It sends the kind of unrest that no paycheck, no distraction, no comfort can silence. That's the signal. If you've ever felt like you were made for something more, like the life you were handed doesn't fit your soul, you are the signal. You are being called not just to survive this era, but to build the next one. And the world will not hand you a podium. It will not cheer for you as you rise. It will fear you, fight you, resist you, because your existence exposes how hollow their game really is. But that fear, that resistance, it's just proof you're moving in the right direction. You are not being called to walk an easy road. You are being called to crush mountains under your steps. You are being called to be the force that shakes loose every last chain, to turn silent suffering into roaring liberation. Your journey will not be solitary. because around the world, in every hidden corner, others are waking too. Others are standing. Others are breaking free from the illusions that held them prisoner. Your job now is not just to keep rising, it's to connect, to link arms with those whose spirits hum at the same frequency, to build networks not of followers, but of warriors, architects, builders of a future that the cowards of the old world fear to even imagine. Your weapon is truth. Your armor is resilience. Your map is already burned into your instincts. Follow it. The actions you take now, the stands you make, the words you speak, they will ripple outward farther than you can see. Long after today's kings are forgotten, long after the false empires crumble to dust, your legacy will be the bedrock the new world stands on. You are not here to patch up a dying system. You are here to replace it entirely. And it doesn't matter how loud the old world screams. It doesn't matter how many walls they try to build. It doesn't matter how many names they call you. The truth is simple. You are unstoppable. You are inevitable. This is not about waiting for permission. This is about taking what was always yours, the right to shape your world. The day you rose was a warning. The days that follow will be the proof. This is the day chosen ones showed the world who is the boss, and now the real work begins. The future is waiting, not for the timid, not for the compliant, but for the ones who dared to tear down the old, stand tall in the rubble, and build a new world with their bare hands. And if you feel the ground shaking again under your feet, it's because your time isn't just coming, it's here. And so the storm has only just begun. The chosen ones have made their move, and the world will never be the same. If you feel that fire burning inside you, it's because you were never meant to stay silent. You were meant to lead the shift. If this message hit your spirit, like this video, subscribe to stay in the fight. Drop the number 77 in the comments to show you're locked in. And share this with others who are ready to rise. The more we unite, the faster the old walls fall. The time is now.